The Man Who Bought Acorns, a story of greed. One day a man on a horse came into a village. The name of the village remains untold until this very day. So is the name of the horse. The stranger loudly stated he had come to buy acorns and was willing to pay €1 for each acorn. Because there were many oak trees in their peaceful village, some villagers quickly began to collect all easy acorn they could find. At the end of a long and fruitful day, the man bought hundreds of acorns for €1 each. He also told them he'd be back a week later to buy more acorns, not for €1 but for €2 each. Then he left into the mountains. Again some villagers, a lot more than the first time, also began to gather acorns, though less acorns were found. Children and the not so clever ones were the first to lose their precious collected acorns to unsavory characters. Clockwise, a week later, the man reappeared, paid them €2 per acorn each, and promised the excited and nervous villagers again to be back next week to pay the, as he flattered, nice people of their small and modest town at least €5 for each acorn they could bring in. In and around the village it wasn't so easy anymore to collect big numbers of acorns, but still they found plenty in the nearby woods and little further away places surrounding their now much discussed village. As said, exactly on time, 1 week later, the man appeared and paid all villagers €5 per acorn, continuously expressing his gratitude to the local people for letting him buy their acorns. As he wiped tears from his eyes, he loudly declared he would be back again same time next week to pay them no less than €20 per acorn each. And off he went into the mountains. Despite their effort, the villagers now could hardly find any more acorns. Some shrewd people who hadn't sold all acorns yet were forced to donate theirs to the community, but still it didn't seem to be enough to curb and temper the local enthusiasm. Then, later that week from out of the woods, a man passed their village with big bags of acorns on his horse and chariot. The villagers, in no way seeming altruistic or selfish, took extremely good care of both traveller and horse. The name of the horse was Mephisto. The boldest villagers, though, eager to get their hands on the load of acorn, couldn't wait to ask the travelling man if he was willing to sell some, perhaps all of his acorns to the humble people of their God-fearing village. Willing the man sure was, and for the welcoming and hospitable inhabitants of their prosperous village, to a fair price. Over the mountains, it is said, they could make me some money this year, but you good doers can buy me out, only for €10 per acorn. The villagers, blinded by their wildest dreams and fantasies, then collected all the money they could willy-nilly find. Haughty rich people, who had been flaunting they could buy any number of acorn at any price now, were forced to get their fellow citizens more profitable acorns. Most of them were robbed anyway, and in some cases even threatened to be banned from their beloved village. The old and the weak were the last to see their poor possessions or savings claimed and taken by the unstoppable and greedy masses. They bought the thankful man all out of acorns, and the only thing the now considered wealthy villagers had to do was to wait for their man to even bring them more wealth. But a week later, and weeks later, the man from the mountains, however, never returned. In fact, the villagers never ever saw that promising man again. And then they understood. They were fooled, tricked and licked. They had lost their money to a false prophet. All he left behind was a never ever more discussed village, its dazed and confused people, and a large amount of priceless acorns.